Only 6 months ago, a federal Labor government was thrown out of power pretty soundly. How have you managed to make a comeback?
Oh, I think we did it by concentrating on state issues.
What about transport?
Oh, that's a high priority, of course.
A bridge has collapsed on top of a train at the Granville railway station. Now, police on the scene say the bridge is heavy and several carriages have been crushed. And police say a number of people have been trapped and they're appealing for heavy equipment to move the bridge off the train. We'll have further details as they come to hand.
I thought it was just the carriage under the bridge at first, but then I had to look on the other side of the bridge. The locomotive's on its side, and one carriage, all you can see is the floor of it. It's on its side. It had the top ripped off it. The others have jackknifed into it. It's just cheap.
I couldn't believe there'd be anybody alive underneath. And then I went in underneath and found this hell on earth.
Careful, careful.
Is there much more?
3 truckloads.
You're serious? Hey, you. Yes, you. Looking for the coroner's office.
Yeah, it's the last door down the end. We're going there ourselves. You wouldn't like to give us a hand, would you?
Get stuffed. Would you tell the coroner I'm ready to see him?
Your name, please?
From the Justice Department.
Pleased to meet you. Tom Weir, the coroner.
I'm sorry.
It's an easy mistake.
I didn't realize.
Anyone can make it. How can I help you?
Well, the department has sent me down to make sure it's all under control.
I beg your pardon.
This inquiry of yours into Granville. Right now, it's shaping up to be something bigger than Ben-Hur. I mean, 75 witnesses. Not to mention all that evidence. If we're not careful, this could blow our budget sky high. So, I'm here to help move things along.
Merv, you can't be serious.
Well, don't tell me you believe that crap about moving things along.
Well, it's a pretty big inquiry, and they don't want to waste their money. Yeah. I think that's fair enough.
Yeah? When was the last time they came near us? Leper colonies get more visitors. I tell you, they're up to something shonky. I can smell it.
They've never tried to tell me how to do my job before.
It's always the first time, sir. Other magistrates have been getting calls on how to decide their cases.
Have they?
Well, that's the rumour.
You and your rumors.
I remember the last one doing the rounds. Bob Hawke was leaving the union movement and going into politics. Come on, Merv. There's already been a 3-month-long state government inquiry into Granville. It's been examined inside and out. This coronial hearing, it's a formality. Rubber stamp. Doesn't threaten anyone. The sad truth is, we're not important enough to be leaned on.
Can burn a car completely using just a bag of crisps. Place the crisps on the back seat carefully. Light the packet till it starts to burn, then shut the door and run. The oil in the crisps will keep the fire burning till it spreads to the upholstery. After that, boom. And don't eat the evidence.
You're supposed to be doing your homework.
Well, this is for show and tell tomorrow. It's one of Dad's best cases. He saved the insurance company millions when he solved it.
Absolutely, Andy.
Are you teaching him how to burn a car?
It's a scientific fact.
Yeah, like the last one you gave him. How to open any lock with a biro and some hubba bubba. We'll have the headmaster here soon, and then we'll all be in trouble.
Dad?
Mr. Osmond.
Most of the evidence is pretty straightforward.
Thank you. Lovely.
And the railways have admitted that they caused the accident, which makes things easier for everyone. And
So, when can I see their report? Well, their accident report. Well, people get killed by train. Surely someone on the railways writes down why.
Boss doesn't like him.
How do you know?
Those biscuits must be 6 months old.
Well, the cops I've been talking to reckon he's the best. You seen his qualifications?
That was on my desk. It's private.
Boris Osmond, Bachelor of Engineering, Diploma in Applied Science, Fellowship Diploma School of Mines and Industries, Mechanical Draftsman Certificate, member of the Institute of Engineers Australia.
well, straight after the accident, the government announced a full inquiry under Judge Staunton. But because the law says that the coroner must investigate all accidents.
There are 2 inquiries into Granville.
Yes. Judge Staunton found that the derailment was caused mostly by poor track maintenance.
You accept that?
Yes, I believe I will.
Then what am I doing here, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I was looking for someone to help me out technically, and you came highly recommended as an expert in the field.
Expert. You know how they define an expert? X is the unknown, and spurt is a drip under pressure. It's an engineer's joke.
But this is no joking matter.
No, of course not. I'm aware of your predicament, sir. How difficult it must be for you.
Mr.
I mean, you're
Osmond.
waltzing through a minefield holding this investigation. To do the job properly, you're going to have to explain how the New South Wales Railways came to be in such a mess. I think the Liberal Party's going to thank you for that. They let them run to seed in the first place. And Labor's not going to want to know you if they have to spend money fixing the problem. Interesting. You're on your own with this one. I don't blame you for being nervous.
I appreciate you coming here. But I feel that, well, I don't think we'll see eye to eye on this, so why don't I just get Greta? Ah, Greta! Mr. Osmond is just leaving.
I suppose you noticed that the engine derailed while the carriages still stayed on the line?
So?
So there's more going on than poor track maintenance. Thanks for the biscuit. Well, then he calls me back and he says, "When can you start?" I couldn't believe it.
He must have felt guilty about the biscuits.
What?
Nothing. We'll be there in about 10 minutes, Boris.
It's B.O.
What?
Call me B.O. Might as well. Everyone I work with does. Boris Osmond. Coroner told me you were actually there on the day.
Yeah.
What was it like?
Let me tell you something, B.O. We're going to eat, sleep, and shit this accident for the next 3 months. So let's just make some small talk while we can, all right? We've driven from Glebe to see this train.
Sorry, mate, the train's off limits.
This is an order from a judge.
Yeah, I have my orders too. No one gets near the Granville locomotive.
We're investigators for the coroner. We have to see it.
If the railway's saying no one gets in, then no one bloody does.
I didn't think you could do that. It's an order from the coroner. It's law.
I'll get a warrant from the boss. I'll bloody arrest that train.
They're holding another inquiry. Honestly, I wish they'd just leave us alone.
I'm going to bed. I can manage on my own.
The coroner's doing a full investigation. And he wants you to know when the inquiry's being held.
Well, he can tell him from me it's a waste of time. No amount of shuffling paper will bring my husband back.
G'day. What's your name?
Natalie.
She's pretty.
Go inside, Nat. Every time she hears the front door, she thinks that...
If there's anything at all I can do, you let me know, okay?
Florsheims, size 11.
Oh, what?
You said if there was anything... Well, I want the shoes he was wearing. They were fancy ones. Brown. They're no use to anyone now, so they should be home. With us.
Brown, size 11. Do you want me to, you know, clean them up a bit?
That's my job. Thanks.
How's the girl? Huh?
Your girl wouldn't go to sleep tonight. Not till you were home to tuck her in.
Train. Only if you promise to go to sleep.
Okay.
Okay, come on then. On you get. All aboard. And hang on. Choo, 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 choo. Woo! Let's get up through the tunnel. Hang on tight. Faster. Wave to Mummy.
Bye, Mummy.
Night.
Choo, 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 woo! And the big bad wolf and Little Red Riding Hood got married at a sausage sizzle in Grandma's backyard.
Brian.
Shh. The other ending scares her. And they all lived happily ever after.
I wish you'd give the club away.
We need the extra dough, love. Hey, I'll clean those.
Not the heels. You always miss the heels.
Nobody notices it.
I do. I could work part-time in a deli or something. Mum would look after Nat. And you wouldn't have to moonlight.
No. No, I want you home, taking care of Nat. Taking care of me.
Brian.
What? Don't smell of cigarettes now.
You have to be up in 5 hours.
So? I'll hurry it up a bit.
Don't you dare.
Then the chemist's wife says they were expecting the accident. They were surprised it hadn't happened sooner. What? Yeah. So I looked at the bridge and checked out its records. And you know something? She was right. Now look at this. Here's the road, put up on either side by the council. Here's the bridge, put up by the railways 20 years ago. Surprise, surprise. The bridge is too low for the road. So the railways fill the gap by adding concrete. Instead of the bridge weighing 100 tons, it weighed nearly 350 tons.
But the railways weren't to know that the bridge was vulnerable.
It'd only been hit twice before.
What?
The bloke in the pie shop told me. It's amazing what you can find out in that shopping centre. Nice pies too, the chicken and mushroom.
Mate.
Yeah. I checked it out with the local police. In August 1967, a carriage derailed from a freight train, and bang, slams right into the stanchion holding up the bridge. Then 2 years ago, in 1975, it happens again. This time, a coal wagon weighing 80 tons derails and slams right into it. Does damage too. Take a seat. Granville was the third time. The third time the Bowl Street Bridge had been hit. 3 times in 10 years.
Are you sure, Sergeant?
Well, it's the bloke in the pie shop and the copper's got it wrong. But if it's hit once, you can say it's bad luck. But twice?
Coroner's office. I'll put you through now.
I told you no calls.
I'm sorry he insisted. There was nothing I could do.
Who's insisting? Greta!
Hope I'm not interrupting, Tom.
No, sir. Not at all.
I know how busy you must be now.
No more than usual, Mr. Farquhar.
Good. Then the inquest will be wound up pretty soon.
Which inquest would that be, Mr. Farquhar?
You know bloody well which one.
I take it you mean Granville?
Why the hell did you send your men to look at that bloody locomotive? It's already been examined 50,000 bloody times. There's concern up here you're wasting court resources. They want the whole thing finished now.
Who exactly are they, sir? Well, I'm sorry you're so upset, but I have to have someone look over that train. We are talking about 83 deaths.
83, was it? Dreadful. No wonder there's so much work. Look, I'll tell you what I'll do. Why don't I send someone down to your office to sort of lend a hand?
Are you saying that you'll replace me, sir?
I just want to help you along. Get the train back onto track, so to speak. I'll do it if I have to, Tom.
You think Murray Farquhar was leaning on the coroner?
I didn't say that. And don't you ever let on that I told you.
You don't know the boss, B.O. He'd never stand for it. He'd tell Farquhar where to go. Why aren't you listening, for Pete's sake? What sort of secretary are you?
I might have heard the occasional word.
What did Mr. Weir say? Did he talk about us going out to Chilora?
He said he wanted his staff to examine the train.
Yes, good on him. I knew he'd stick it up the railways.
The railways don't normally get judges to do their dirty work.
What do you mean?
I've done lots of cases against them. Well, they want to get heavy. They've got their own lawyers and a minister in Parliament. They don't need Murray Farquhar to go into bat for them. Besides, he works for the Justice Department.
So?
This hearing's all about a train. Trains come under transport departments. They have nothing to do with each other.
So why would Farquhar give a damn if he saw the train or not? That's what you're saying. Why would he call the coroner at all?
Put me in my place.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No secrets here, Mr. Osmond. When you work with the police, it's very difficult to hide anything. Mr. Farquhar rang to, well, he feels that the train has been examined enough, and if I'm smart, I'll agree.
I bet you're not smart, are you, sir? Oh, you're not, sir.
Come on, Merv. What else can I do? Hmm? You know what'll happen if I cause trouble. Next week I'll get a phone call for my annual checkup. Oh, that's a nasty cough, Mr. Weir. Time to retire. And you'll get transferred to a little town where it never gets colder than 90 degrees. What's the life expectancy of a city cop in outback New South Wales, hmm? You still want to examine that train, Merv?
It entered this curve and derailed right there. Raised the God Almighty cloud of dust. Then skidded towards the bridge. 500 tons of speeding train. Nothing could have stopped them.
Whereabouts they lay out the dead?
Right behind us. We find their belongings in the dirt all the time. Rings and watches. Once even a good luck charm. When the trains come by, the commuters close the windows. They can still smell death around here, they reckon.
What's the tap for?
Us to fill our jugs for morning tea.
So, you take your smokos around here?
Yeah, sometimes.
Do the trains go by? You have a ringside view of that curve.
I wasn't there when it happened.
But in the weeks before, you sat with your mates up there. Were the trains riding well on this section of track? You noticed something, didn't you?
Yeah. I noticed I had this place to myself because my mates had been given the boot. The railway sacked 1/3 of all staff, removing dead wood. That's what they called it. You know what holds those rails to the ground? Dead wood. And that's what happens when you try to remove it. No train rode well around that curve, especially not at 80k.
70. 70 is the usual speed around curves in New South Wales?
Yeah. Well, up there wasn't usual and the speed was 80. I'm buggered if I know why.
So it's 40 now. Why?
It went up after the crash. They cut the speed back to 60, then down again to 40.
40.
Yeah.
I want a list of all derailments since 1957. Oh, come on, mate. You owe me one. If I hadn't worked out why that boom gate didn't lower, you'd be cleaning out toilets at Strathfield Station. What? Well, say that you need them for statistics. Say anything you like. Well, except that you're getting it for me. Friday? You beauty, thanks. You're a champ.
Greta. I'll be in the morgue for about...
1 hour.
Mr. Weir, look, I know you're busy, but this won't take a minute. Mr. Farquhar sent me down. He's just a bit concerned that you and he, well, that things got off to a shaky start.
Look, I am busy, so if you
No, that's okay. We can talk on the run.
Why don't you tell me what's really going on with Granville?
Nothing.
Calls from Murray Farquhar. Visits from the head office. You trying to tell me this is par for the course?
They want you to leave the locomotive alone.
Why?
Head office is concerned at the cost of this inquiry. You are pushing the budget over its limit.
Don't give me any of this public service bullshit. Who really sent you here, hmm? Are you aware it's a crime to try and lead on me?
I don't think you realize what you've got yourself into. Now, I'm offering you a piece of friendly advice, that's all. And if you're smart, you'll damn well listen.
Tea's up.
You should go home.
So should you. Here.
Greta, how long have you been in the public service?
Oh, God, I don't know. Maybe 20 years or so. How about you?
34 years. My whole working life. On my first day, my dad said, if you want to go far in the public service, you don't have to be bright. You don't have to be a Catholic. Don't even have to be very good at your job. Just say yes all the time, and you'll go to the top. You say no, just once, and they'll eat you alive.
When?
12 years ago, in July.
Same engine as at Granville.
Yeah, number 4620.
You sure?
There's no doubt about it. I checked all the derailments just like you asked me. Number 4620, it went out of control going downhill with 44 wagons of coal behind it. And it derailed and then overturned near Wentworth Falls.
Anyone hurt?
Yeah, the driver and the engineer. And the funny thing was, it hit a stanchion then as well. Small world, isn't it? And last year, the same locomotive, number 4620, did it again. So, Granville was the third time. It was the third time that 4620 had gone off the rails. And that's not all, boss. Have a look at that.
So, maybe it wasn't just the tracks after all. Maybe the engines had problems. And that's why they won't let us near it. I need to examine the locomotive.
I'll bear that in mind.
Look, maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, but I have a fair idea of what you're up against waltzing through this minefield.
I don't want you to concern yourself.
Another engine derailed last week. What? A Class 46. No casualties, not much damage, but it did come off the tracks. My contact with the railways told me this isn't going to go away, sir. Sooner or later, you're going to have to take them on.
Please don't give me advice on how to do my job.
Well, Christ, you could use it! Can't you see what's happening? The rules have changed. Safety's nice, but it's not essential, not if it costs too much money.
I must remain impartial
Do you
on
think
this.
the
I will not-
PTC is the only institution that's cutting corners to save a few bucks? Do we just sit back and let them get away with it? And hope that our wives and kids aren't on the next train or bus or plane that has...
Goodbye, Boris.
I found this at the accident site. It used to fit the door of a house with a wife and a kid and a dog inside. That door will never open again. Not for him. Andy? Andy? What have I told you about this model?
You said it was paper mache.
What else?
You said it was on a 1 to 55 scale.
Andy, I told you not to play with it.
Well, I wasn't playing with it.
Well, then why is Cochise standing outside the butcher's?
Well, I was looking at the statements, you know, the ones the witnesses made. And one woman said she was outside the shop just before the bridge went down. You'd left her off your model. That's why I put him there, Dad. To remind you.
Hope I'm not interrupting. I've run out of figures for my model. I was wondering if I could borrow Cochise. Reckon I can pay you not to look like a lady bowler. You're a bit upset, aren't you? I'm sorry, Andy. I shouldn't have got angry with you. I lost my temper. I just didn't think. I did what I've taught you never to do.
Why?
It's this job. The Granville job. There are things about it I just don't understand, Annie.
Boris, phone.
Hello?
It's better be bloody worth it, Boris.
What's going on? What the hell are you doing here?
I have an order from the coroner to inspect the locomotive currently held on these premises.
It's 1 a.m. for Christ's sake.
You think I'd be here unless it was urgent?
I'm not allowed to let anyone in.
Or
I'm
person
gonna have to
entering
make
this
a
order will
phone
be
call.
arrested and charged with contempt of court.
Now open the gate.
Let's get on with it. Get the arc lights, set them up over there. Come on, go. You two men with me now. All right, let's go. Let's smooth it. Let's go. Let's go. Get the generator in the corner.
Take it easy, it's only me. I wanted to be sure they let you in, that's all. I hope you're not going to tell me I've wrecked my entire career for nothing.
Everyone's ready, sir.
You know what the English call the coroner? A defender of the dead. Wonder if the dead even care what happens. I'd have been smart if I just walked away from it all.
Isn't that what caused this crash in the first place? People walking away from responsibility.
Would you excuse me? Can spot a smoker a mile off.
Oh, thanks.
I'd light it for you, but it's a bit like threading a needle through an earthquake.
It's okay.
Carriage 4, Granville. I knew you were familiar. I'm Michael McAnally, Scotty. Don't say you don't remember me. No one forgets this accent. I was with Brian Gordon, and you were one of the nurses.
Yes, of course. Hi.
My wife said to me this morning, she said, whatever you do, don't break down and cry. No one likes a wet blanket. So, I bet her $10 that I wouldn't. Why do you reckon that happened? Do you ever think about this?
No. It was an accident.
Aye, but accidents have causes, and you hear all sorts of stories. The rail buckled up from the heat, or a couple of kids left some rocks on the tracks.
Let me tell you what happened, Scotty. That train went round a bend and came off. I'll never know why, not really. But they'll hold this hearing and find some causes so the public thinks they're safe again and everything's under control. But it's not, and we know it. We were there, weren't we? Look, the real cause of Granville was very, very simple. When your number's up, your number's up. And all the lawyers in the world will never change that. Excuse me.
As stipendiary magistrate and coroner, it is my duty to conduct the inquiry into the deaths of 44 men, 37 women, and 2 young girls in what has now become known as the Granville disaster. For many of you, this inquest will be painful, and the court sincerely regrets that. But we ask for your patience and your support as we reconstruct the train's last journey.
Eddie. Eddie. Rise and shine, mate. Come on. It's after 5. Yeah.
That'll clean your cobwebs. What's the score?
Hmm?
Isn't that what Australians say instead of good morning? What's the score? Did you get the track report?
Yeah, no delays. Signals are all working. Your breakfast is out here, mate. Nice hot pie.
A pie? At this hour?
Not pie, mate. Don't say it the proper way. I had a pie.
What kind of summer is this?
Check up there. Forecast is light and dry. Yeah, we never roll.
I'm a consulting engineer. I work out why things happen. Accidents, mostly.
How long have you been doing this?
Over 20 years. I also lecture in engineering at the University of New South Wales.
And you've worked on railway matters before?
Many times.
All right, Mr. Osman, will you tell the court what happened on the day of the Granville accident?
The locomotive was functioning normally when it left Mount Victoria.
That's where it begins its run, I take it.
Yes. At 6:09 every morning. stops at all stations between there and Parramatta. The locals call it the Slugger. As they say, it just crawls along. And on that morning, it was just like any routine journey.
No.
Why not? It's not like it's a rock concert. It's only heavy metal.
I don't care if it's tin foil. You know the rules. No going out at night until you turn 15. Oh, look, it's much too hot for us to start fighting. Besides, I've got to save my strength for work. You try driving an elevator on a day like this. One little fan, everyone's sweating. Someone always has flatulence. Oh, gosh. Be late for work.
I don't know what time I'll be home, Mum, so I'll see you later.
You should have told us you were coming.
Oh, what? You spoil the surprise.
Oh, wow. Mum's in the kitchen. We'll have to catch up tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah, I've got to go to work.
Oh, you're not going to leave me alone with her all day? She'll spend the whole day
No.
grilling me about Steve. Take a sickie. Please, 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 please.
Oh, okay. Oh, my God. Oh, sweetheart. You should have told us.
Oh, you've lost weight. Don't you think so, Deb?
Mum.
I'd better get you some breakfast. I'll take this. How was college? Did you pass your exams?
Everyone.
Oh, look, there's no answer. I better go in. They might need me. I'm sorry.
Well, try to be home early, love. Bake dinner for your sister.
Mum, it's 100 degrees outside.
Now, where's your dirty washing? I hope you didn't waste good money on laundromats.
I checked the records, and according to the PTC engineers, the track had been inspected just days before the accident.
Go on, have one. Gotcha.
Brian, she's already had breakfast.
You'll miss the train if you're not careful.
Go, you have one.
Dad's already had his breakfast. What would you like?
I'm just having a cup of coffee.
Can't get through the day on that. No argument. You've got enough time to eat something. Come on.
Mum, I just want to get there. You know what it's like? When I'm dancing, I feel complete. I don't need anything else. I'll always dance, whether I make it into a company or not. I'll always dance. Mwah. See you tonight.
Bye.
Brian! You'll be late!
Where's Mum?
I'll see you tonight, love. Look, your lunch is in the fridge. Well, aren't you going to say goodbye? Mark? All right, suit yourself.
takes me 91 minutes just to get to the office.
So?
Well, that's 3 hours a day I spend on that train. The bloke who sits beside me doesn't prosper. Never says a thing. I see more of him than I do of you.
Well, when you start calling him dear, I worry.
Hey,
Nat, don't. Give Daddy a headache.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot.
electricity bill.
Headache!
Sweetheart, not now. Due today?
I should have told you about it sooner, but I just didn't have the heart. Money's so tight, we've been working so hard.
Here it comes!
I could ask Mum for loans.
Hey, I'll pay it. See you tonight.
Brian? You're not angry, are you? I put it off for as long as I could.
I love you.
Perhaps a disaster might still be avoided if the track is stable and strong enough to withstand the force of a hurtling train. But the track is not stable. Dog spikes, vital in holding the track down, are worn away or missing. The rails themselves are poorly maintained and later described as potentially dangerous. So the track has been worn now past its limit. There is still one hope for the 609 from Mount Victoria. If the stanchions supporting the Bold Street Bridge had been moved by the railways, a collision would have been avoided. But even after 2 previous hits, they have not been shifted. They are totally exposed and vulnerable as they support a mass of concrete and steel weighing more than 300 tons. Carriages of the 609 are all made from timber. And 141 people will be under this bridge when it drops.
Look, I got it.
How are you, okay? Having a good time?
Yeah.
I'll hit you ribbon next. Straighten up.
platform was crowded as the train pulled into Parramatta, 2 stations away from Granville. When the train arrives at Parramatta, one final element is working against it. Time. It is now running 3 minutes late, 3 vital minutes, which must be made up so as it doesn't fall in behind a slower city train.
Train now approaching 609 from Mount Victoria, setting down at platform 2. The train now approaching 609 from Mount Victoria, setting down at platform 2.
It is too late now to save the 609. Every twist of fate, chance, and luck is about to converge and destroy it.
Train now standing at platform 2, stop at Strathfield and Sydney City only. Train now standing at platform 2, stop at Strathfield and Sydney City only.
So now it happens. At 8:10, the train leaves Parramatta Station with 469 passengers on board. All mainline signals are cleared at once. Clearing of these signals gives the driver the authority to proceed at maximum speed. He is not to know that this speed is unsafe, nor that the train he is driving can push the rails wide. He is simply doing what the signals tell him.
Have we passed Parramatta?
Sure did.
Oh, no. I slept through my station.
The train soon gains speed, touching 78 k's as it reaches the point called lead 73. As the train goes round the curve, its front wheels, its worn front wheels, connects with the side of the track. The speed of the train and the weight of the engine push the wheels up a bit higher than normal. Not much, just a fraction. Just enough for the train to come off the track. The train doesn't stop. It keeps going on the dirt for hundreds of feet. In its wake, it creates an incredible cloud of dust and dirt and ballast. Force of 25,000 tons, it plows into the trestles of the Bold Street Bridge. Demolishing all of its stanchions. But the bridge doesn't fall. Not yet, anyway. It balances on its edges, here and here. The engine continues, out of control, until it hits this, a power pole. It uproots the power pole, kicking it up and ahead of the engine. Still suspended by power lines, the pole swings back into carriage 1, ripping the roof away from the floor, tearing the walls apart. Like a flying chainsaw, it kills 8 people and injures dozens more. Meanwhile, here, beneath the balancing bridge, most of carriage 3 and half of carriage 4 have ground to a halt, with 141 passengers inside them.
It's all right. It's okay. We've come off the tracks.
Terrific. Now we'll be late for work.
It's all right. It's all right. The worst is over. They'll come and get us.
The silence is broken by cries of stay calm and it's all right. Then over the silence comes a crunching sound. Some of the passengers look out of windows and scream, then try to climb through them out of sheer desperation. But the forces working against this train now are too great to be resisted. Most of the victims will not die immediately. The impact will push them forward in their seats, so their shoulders are literally lower than their knees. Here they will stay, unable to move, many of them conscious, trapped in the heat and the darkness. As the suffocating gas leaks all around them. One 141 people. 320 tons.
Calm down. Settle down.
I'm just waiting.
What was that?
It wasn't the train. The train stopped.
Noise.
Oh, my God.
okay, it's okay. A big man from the rescue squad. Oh, so you go to already? No, mate, the day after I was driving past, I saw this mess. Come with me. It's okay, mate, we'll have you over there in a minute.
Forget about me. Look after the young ones. Just get me a cigarette. I'll be all right. I only rode in this carriage because it was non-smoking. My doctor told me to quit. Feels better already.
Uh, 3410 VKG.
3410.
This is Constable Lamb from the rescue squad. It appears there's two carriages jammed underneath the concrete, and there's another one that's split wide open. We're going to need every rescue squad unit here now. We're going to need everything you've got.
3410, do you want a crane at the accident site?
3410, yes, radio we will. But this is not a bloody accident. This is a disaster.
Here is a 2UE news flash. Tony Dickinson reporting a bridge has collapsed on top of a train at the Granville railway station. The carriages have been crushed and police say a number of people have been trapped and they're appealing for heavy equipment to move the bridge off the train. We'll have further details as they come to hand.
2UE keeping you in touch with all the news at 9:14.
It's a nightmare, boss. We got a lot of deadens in there. Is there any way in? Yeah, there's a kind of a tunnel here between the cutting and the carriages. Joe Beecroft's in there now. Joe! Joe!
It's going to be a long day, Ray. It's a real mess in there.
Hey, lamp chops. Thanks, mate.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Somebody!
I'm sorry.
Answer me! What's happened?
All right, Joe. I want you to take Dick Lamb and Bruce Gain and search the western end of carriage 4 for any other surviving injured passengers. All right? Now, Gary Raymond and Graham Jessup, I'd like to do likewise on the eastern end of carriage 3. Now, the Nepean Rescue Squad, they're on their way down, and Barry Hodge and the Blue Mountain Squad, they're on their way down as well. Now, when they arrive, I want you to divide them up amongst yourselves and then locate everyone who is trapped and still alive. I want Bill Fay advised of where they are and of any medical assistance they may require. Now, you've all had a good look in there. You know exactly what you're up against. So good luck.
There's still about 90 people in there.
90?
Well, they were non-smoking carriages. They're always more packed.
You been in yet?
No, sir.
You've only just joined the squad, haven't you?
Yes, sir. I actually do body retrievals from cliffs. Heights don't bother me, not a bit. I'm not very good in small spaces.
Well, I think it's about time you got used to them. This will tell us if it drops any.
Drops?
Come on, I'll look after you.
Do you want me to go get an air pump or something?
No, not yet. We'll set the lights up first. another way in here. There's no way we can get our equipment through here.
Please. Sir? Is there anything wrong?
Hey, shush, 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 shush.
Jesus.
You hurt?
No, I can't move. Oh, shit. Shit, sir, look at him. Look at him.
Okay, John, you settle down, right? We can't help them now, so we'll just try and stay calm.
You don't understand, sir. I cannot bear this. I'm claustrophobic. Please just get me out.
That sound you can hear is escaping gas. Now, that's probably going to make us both sick, so let's just be sensible about this, okay?
Hey! Hey, there are coppers in here!
You guys right in there?
Yeah, well, we're trapped. You help us.
Hey, settle it down, settle it down.
One of our blokes? They're your guys. I can't reach you. Can nearly reach you.
It's blocked, so just wriggle around a bit, see if you can create a bit of space, right? Close your eyes, try to relax, right? And that's a bloody order. Now move it backwards. You can do it. Punch your way through. That's it. That's the go.
No!
Keep it going.
That's a chainsaw. They're gonna blow us up.
Yeah, just out the back, right? Wriggle it out the back. Let's go. Come on.
Come on.
That's it.
Come in there.
You're all right, son.
Yeah. Oh, fine. There's gas in there. It's leaking.
LP gas?
Yeah.
Ray?
Hey! I got you, Ray. Come on. Hey! Hey! Turn that off. There's gas in there. Gas!
Oh, great. Okay, I'm fine. Just look after the injured, will you? Go!
Gas, Ray.
Oh, jeez.
The Boulder Street Bridge was supposed to weigh 120 tons, but due to mistakes in planning and design, its weight was almost 3 times that. Now, a lot of trouble came from the fact that there were no cranes strong enough to lift such heavy slabs. And due to the leaking gas, the rescuers couldn't use any equipment to break the concrete up. See, the only way they could reach the injured was by hacking through the roofs. And the roofs were made of a sticky tar.
Right. Graham, grab us another one from the truck, mate. This one's blood.
It's 9 o'clock.
TUE News. Good morning, this is Tony Dickinson. Granville. All available police have been rushed to Granville, where an overhead bridge has crashed on train carriages. Cranes have been called for, in addition to the police rescue squad, ambulance and fire brigades. It's still a scene of confusion. A minute ago, police reported finding 2 of the injured just wandering down the road. And police have asked all traffic to keep well clear of the Granville Railway area.
truck. Grab a pair of bolt cutters as well.
Excuse me, Mr. Margaret Warby from Federal Hospital. This is Dr. John White. This way in?
Look, it's too risky at the
We'll
moment.
need to take two of those torches, John. You come with me. There'll be a doctor's reporter and ballers joining you shortly, okay? Joe?
Down the crows, Margaret.
Carriage 3 by now was 14 inches high. Buried in the rubble were 9 injured passengers. The injured and dead were stacked on each other, often in layers 2 and 3 high. And to make matters worse, the carriage's seats were twisted around their arms and legs, pinning them down like heavy chains.
Dad, take me home.
And in carriage 4, 2 men were trapped, surrounded by 31 corpses, and we knew that...
It's all right, sister.
Well, we knew that it wouldn't be long before the bodies would start to decompose. And even if we could reach the injured, the time they had left to live was limited. There's this thing called the crush syndrome. We don't really understand what it is. We've only just begun to hear about it. But when someone is crushed by a heavy weight, the crushing makes the kidneys play up, and they begin to produce these poisons. Well, the poisons can end up killing someone that would otherwise survive. We don't know too much about it, to be honest. We just knew we had to get them out. And fast.
Dead.
No pulse.
Dead.
No pulse.
What?
I thought I heard something. No, it's not. Whoa!
You all right?
John. It's okay, love. It's all right, we found you. Now, my name's Margaret. I'm a nurse. If you can hear me, try and squeeze my hand. That's great. That's wonderful. Okay, look, I've got to let go, darling, but it doesn't mean I'm leaving, okay? There's someone else here who wants to meet you. His name's Dr. White. His fingers are rough, but he's not a bad guy.
Hi. If you're in a lot of pain, try and squeeze my hand once. Good. Good, you're doing well. You're doing really well. Now, if the pain is in your legs, squeeze my hand once.
You're losing it?
If the pain is in your stomach, try and squeeze my hand once. Come on, tell me.
It's okay, love. It's all right. We're not leaving. I
promise you.
No one's gonna leave you.
I'm a fireman by profession. On the day of the wreck, I was off work. I was sick. So the police called me and told me to round up the rescue squad urgently. Nepean Rescue, we're volunteers. And since I'm in charge, well, I couldn't just stay at home.
Out of my way, excuse me, please, excuse me, rescue.
Now, I worked mainly from this end of the wreckage. Dick, Constable Lamb and myself entered into, well, as far as we could go, into what remained of carriage 3.
Quiet, everyone! Shh. Quiet!
Is that you?
Erica Watson was lying face up, upwards. Her back was arched over a seat and her legs were pinned underneath it. There were 2 dead bodies lying on top of Erica. She had lain like that in the heat and the dark with those 2 dead bodies for over an hour.
No, mate, no. We've lost her.
Come on, sweetheart. Talk to us. Come on, darling. You've got to talk to us so we can find out where you are.
Take me home.
You bet we will. In here. Straight in there. Can you see?
Work was begun on Erica by the rescue squad and I moved on to the 4th carriage. Although half of it was crushed, the other half was still intact. And the big menace here was the carriage's ceiling. It was made of a laminax material, and when the bridge came down, it shattered it, and splinters had gone flying everywhere. And they had impaled a lot of the passengers. We tried to pump compressed air into the wreckage. We were trying to dissipate the gas, which was leaking. Just when we thought things couldn't get any worse, we discovered that the rescue groups had equipment that was not compatible. so the police rescue hydraulics couplings didn't match the fire brigades and so on. It was every rescuer's worst nightmare. We learned the hard way at Granville. We've fixed that problem since, and all rescue equipment's now standardised, but you know, if it ever happens again, we'll be prepared.
Bruce, we got a live one. Grab his hand, grab his hand. Ray! Ray! I've got a live one in here, male. Can't tell how old he is. Is he conscious? Didn't just. I don't know how he survived. The bridge is pulling right across his legs. We're gonna crawl underneath the carriage. See, we can't move him that way.
Joe, that area isn't stable.
Right, if we don't do something soon, that bloke's gonna die in there. They all will. Hey, you've been in there. You've seen what it's like. How much longer do you think they can last? Now, if there's a way to get to him from underneath the carriage, I'll try and find it. When you send someone in to talk to him, try and keep his spirits up.
That's how it started. I just happened to be walking by and Inspector Williams grabbed me and said,
Hey, Ambo! You looking after anyone?
No, sir. Just finished.
Right. Well, there's a man in there. Now, the bridge has fallen across his legs. We need someone to talk to him. Make sure he doesn't lose consciousness. Shouldn't take too long.
Does he?
Okay, well, come with me.
I have this slip disc and sometimes it seizes. But I didn't tell that to the inspector. There's no way I'd let a copper think that an ambulance man wasn't up to the job. But I wish I had now. I should have told him. I should never got into that tunnel.
Ambulance officer coming down now. Get some morphine, okay? Just hold on. You right, mate? Hey. Hey. How are you doing?
I've had better days.
I will, gonna clear this wood off soon.
Forget about the wood, mate. Shift the bloody bridge.
Are you in much pain?
None. None at all.
Well, that's something.
Hey. What's your name?
Michael. Michael Nally.
Scotsman.
Hey.
Oh, listen, Scotty. I watch medical shows on TV. I know what it means when you can't feel your legs. Get the others out.
Would you no shut up? Yeah.
Oh. Oh, look. Look. I gotta pay this. It's due today.
Why don't I give this to your wife, then, eh?
Thanks.
What's her name?
You're just trying to keep me talking, aren't you? So I don't drift off.
I'm just passing the time, that's all. You got any kids?
to talk about my wife and my daughter. I don't want to cry, you understand that? Huh? You've got the worst accent I've ever heard.
You won't tell me your name. You won't tell me your wife's. Who the hell do you work for, Azio?
Get out of here, mate.
If you pricks don't scare me. I've seen bigger crushes at Woolworth sales.
Don't make me laugh, it hurts.
I'll give us your name then, or I'll keep the jokes coming.
Yeah. It's Brian. B-R-Y-A-N. Make sure they spell it right in the certificate.
You got a last name?
You're a pushy bastard. Gordon.
Do you want us to bring your wife, Brian Gordon?
Not yet. You know what women are like, huh? She'll overreact. Where you going?
Get stuffed. Just settle on in. It was then that I realised a brick wall above him was about to tumble down. That's what did it. A bloody brick wall. It really got my temper up. He'd already had to suffer so much, and now this. I was wrong. I was just bloody wrong. I made up my mind then and there. I was going to get Brian Gordon out of that wreck, no matter what. Here, man. Hey. What's scooting you?
There are people here, depending on you, to find out why their loved ones died. If you give up now, they'll never know. That'll be almost as cruel as the train wreck.
Hey, remember me? We spoke last month. About the speed on the curve. You told me the limit there was 80. They even had a sign with it?
Did I? Well, I got it wrong.
But you don't know, do you? I mean, you're supposed to be the expert on how things are done, but you got no bloody idea.
I have considered the railway's submissions concerning Mr. Osmond's theories, and I have studied the evidence closely.
I hope he says the train wasn't to blame. I hope he's damn well smart enough to...
Have you seen my little girls? They were on this train. My wife dropped them off. Rosie's 8.5. She's...
Sir, there were hundreds of people on this train. They're bound to be all right, I'm sure.
I was all I had. I should have done more. I should have saved them all.
Just let it go!
I guess we saw the best and the worst of it that day. Rats and heroes. Side by side.
Hey! Shit! Everybody out! It's coming down!
Get out, Scotty. Go on.
Leave here when you do. I was saying before.
We don't leave our patients.
That's right, sir. With all due respect, you can get stuffed.
We'll be seeing this one out together.
Mate, you're waltzing through a minefield holding this investigation. I don't blame you for being nervous. You're on your own with this one.
Are you aware it's a crime to try and lead on me? I don't think you realise what you've got yourself into.
And last year, the same locomotive, number 4620, did it again.
Granville was the third time. 3 times in 10 years.
The rules have changed. Safety's nice, but it's not essential, not if it costs too much money.
Why the hell did you send your men to look at that bloody locomotive? It's already been examined 50,000 bloody times. There's concern up here you're wasting court resources. They want the whole thing finished now.
Are you saying that you'll replace me, sir?
I'll do it if I have to, Tom.
At 8:10, the train leaves Parramatta Station with 469 passengers on board.
What was that?
God.
It's going to be a long day, Ray.
It's a real mess in there.
It's okay, love. It's all right, we found you.
We just knew we had to get them out. And fast.
Joe, that area isn't stable.
Right, if we don't do something soon, that bloke's gonna die in there. They all will.
We need someone to talk to him. Make sure he doesn't lose consciousness.
Get out of here, mate. I made up my mind. Then and there I was going to get Brian Gordon out with that wreck no matter what.
Without any
What's your fix?
We've got a female, not sure of the age. She's conscious and badly injured.
We need to work in this area, Margaret.
Yeah, well, I can't leave. She's been in there for hours. I promised I'd stay.
It won't take long.
No, you don't understand. She'll think I've abandoned her.
It's an order, Margaret. I'm sorry, but we need to use this area.
Come on, Joe!
Margaret. Get her out of
No!
here. Margaret,
No!
it's an order.
It's a long way from Sydney, but the area's so nice. I don't mind travelling. Well, not most of the time anyway.
So, how old's wee Natalie then?
5. Oh, Scotty. I'm tired. Couldn't I just sleep for a while?
I have to keep you awake, Brian Gordon. Hang in there, mate. Come on.
I'll be back in a couple of minutes. If he needs anything of me, yell, okay?
It's...
Where's the pain?
It's all right. I need a drink.
Can't let you have it, man. If your stomach's been injured, water could kill you.
I'm gonna die anyway. We both know that. Come on, Scotty, give me a drink.
In a few weeks' time.
Oh, please.
No, when you're back on your feet,
Scotty,
then
be
we'll
a
really
friend.
have a drink. Eh? At every pub from here to Penrith. Hey, boy! My mate here's a wee bit dry. Could you get some cotton wool and dab orange juice in it? Eh?
With whiskey.
Oh, I knew at once what it was. The poor kid was choking. But the doctors had said she mustn't be moved in case her neck was broken. And I had to shift her neck, but I didn't know how.
I'm gonna need a doctor in here. A doctor! Dick? Joe!
And I knew if I moved it too much, I could kill her.
We're just gonna make you a bit more comfortable, okay, Dick?
It's a strange thing to be holding a life in your hands. It feels so incredibly light, but at the same time, it's unbearably heavy.
What's going on, Joe?
Injured man. We can't get to him, Ray. The space is too tiny for us to crawl. There's not a rescue worker here small enough to reach him.
Hey!
Hey! What's what you're doing? You're not going to free him any faster if you stand around and listen, okay?
I'm 5'6", sir. Why?
Come with me. Now, the problem is there's leaking gas right beside him, which is why we can't just cut him free. You don't have to do it. No one will blame you if you don't.
It's okay, sir. I'm happy to help.
Good.
If I don't come out again, would you tell Jenny?
Jesus, shit. Shit. I'm doing my best, mate. I'm coming, mate, I'm coming. Oh, please. Just hold on. I'm almost at you. Please. Hold on to it. Okay, mate, I'm nearly there. I'm nearly there, mate. I'm nearly with you. All right. Okay, mate, I've got you. Just a second.
Kill me. I want you to kill me.
Look, I'm just going to try. I need you to move your arm just a little bit towards me.
I can't.
Come on, move your arm a little bit towards me.
I can't.
Come on, just a little. I can't reach you. Bring it out a bit further. That's the way. That's it. A little bit further. Come on. That's it. Just give it to me a little bit further. That's the way, mate. That's the way. Okay. Good on you, mate. That's it. Good on you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Glenn!
Glenn, are you all right? Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine. Okay, mate, just sit tight. Someone will be in to help you real soon, okay? Just sit tight in there, mate. I found it! I found the gas!
Okay, well, don't touch it. Don't touch it just yet. Now, see if you can get it out cleanly. If you can't, just leave it where it is. Remember, one spark. There's a lot of shit here.
Never tell a short person what to do.
You hear me, Summerhays?
Glenn! I'll be out in a minute! Glenn, are you all right? Glenn, can you hear us?
You hear me, Summerhays? Come on, grab your leg. Come on, Glenn. That's it. A bit further. Hold him out.
Yep. He's got it. He's got it.
Oxygen and a stretcher, quick. Get over here. Oh, give me a hand. Jen.
Please put out your cigarettes. We're removing leaking gas down here. I repeat, put out your cigarettes now. Hey, Gopher!
You want to smoke?
No, I'm not worried at all. No, Brian always sits in the last carriage and that wasn't touched. I just thought he might have rung to say he'd be late for work.
Was displaced and the bridge collapsed. It was as straightforward as that.
Yes, you're right.
A number of people killed.
Thanks.
Well, a lot of us have been down there. We've got different ideas, but I think it could be around 30 or more.
And they're still dead down there?
Probably more than 30, yes.
Plus another dozen that you've taken away.
It's a conservative estimate, yes.
Just how do you...
Crowded train, you can imagine for yourselves, and the carriage was decimated, but unfortunately a lot of the other people were killed.
So, what did Santa bring your daughter?
Nothing.
Oh, you must have given her something, Brian. Even the Scots give presents at Christmas.
Bride doll. She asked for one that came with babies. You dropped by for dinner one night.
I was wondering when you'd bloody ask.
Promise me.
Of course.
Promise me.
Hey, hey.
Tell Annette. I said you'd have sit at the head of the table in my seat.
Hang on, mate. Where'll you be?
Oh, I'll be there. I'll be there when you talk about me.
But if we don't move the slab, it makes it impossible for us to do our job. Quite so, we could collapse at any minute. There's only ballast holding it up.
If we break up the bridge into 3 or 4 slabs, yes, we can start to use the cranes to try and lift it. But there is a chance that the slabs could disintegrate.
What?
It's what the engineers say. They said the whole thing could come crashing down on whoever's underneath. We could end up killing everyone. I just can't risk it. And the slab's got to stay until everyone's been rescued. Watch your backs.
All right, love, what we're going to do is we're going to try and cut your shoe away from your foot, all right, so that we can reach your foot.
Is my foot all right?
Can you feel it?
No. Will I still be able to dance?
Hey, Jerry. Yeah. Jerry, mate, just pass us a lump of wood or something there, will you?
Is everything all right?
Yeah.
What do you want it for?
A rat.
What?
A rat. Mate, I think we got another one.
We'll kill it.
No, mate, another passenger. Under here.
No way. Not underneath. You couldn't fit a sardine under there. She couldn't breathe. Doctor! Doctor! We need another doctor down here. Now! Quick!
My mum was on the train. Yeah.
What's your name, darling?
Margaret. Margaret Shuttler.
Are you in much pain?
My face hurts. And my shoulder.
Painkillers are on their way, all right? Now, what it looks like, Margaret, is there's another person in the way, so we'll just move them and then we can reach you. All right? You understand, love?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You've got a lovely voice, Margaret. I bet you work in radio, eh?
No. In an
elevator.
Well, you'll have to give us a ride one day.
Can you tell me something honestly? Am I going to die?
Eventually. But not for years and years.
Inside the body. The name inside, Margaret Shuffler.
Is that your mum?
Yes.
Sorry. Really, I am. It would have been quick. Didn't feel a thing.
Okay, keep an eye on his respirate for me, will you? Thanks. Excuse me, sir, this area is off limits.
Are you a rescuer?
No, I'm a nurse.
Is there anyone left in there?
You'll have to ask the policeman over there, okay?
Please. I'm begging you. Have you seen my little girls? They were on this train. My wife dropped them off.
You should really speak to the policeman.
Rosie's 8½. She was in a pattern summer dress. Helen's in the same sort, another colour. She was carrying her doll. She has blonde hair, down to here. She was only 11, but she looks older. We let her wear lipstick today.
Sir, there were hundreds of people on this train. They're bound to be all right, I'm sure.
That's what I keep telling my wife, Wendy. We hadn't heard because all the phones were down. Please, can you look? They were with my wife's dad. His name is Victor Miles. He's 68. There should be another lady with him. His wife, his new wife, Madge. They're from England, here on a holiday. They hadn't seen the Hawkesbury before, and they too and the kids. And
What's your name, sir?
Ken Ward. My daughters are Rosie and Helen.
Is your wife at home now? Then why don't you go home and look after her? Look, I know you want to help, and I know you want to be here, but it's a real mess. Someone will contact you, I'm sure.
Do you think they're still alive?
I hope so. I really do. Please, go home.
Rosie and Helen Ward. You won't forget that, will you? If you see them, tell them Daddy was here, but he had to go. And he loves them. Promise me you'll tell them.
I promise. You have my word. Please, go look after your wife.
carriage!
Everybody out! Leave the tunnel!
All rescuers out. Let us make our own choice, Joe, please.
I want everybody out. Where are the others, the civilians? Listen to me. I want all civilian personnel to leave the tunnel immediately. Come on, I want you out of here. You blokes. It's okay. It's an order.
There's no point in risking your life, Margaret. You'll only make it more difficult to rescue the others.
We don't leave our patients.
That's right, sir. With all due respect, you can get stuffed.
Hurry. I want you to leave. What? Immediately. I won't. It's an order, Gary. Or you'll be charged.
I mean it.
Civilian personnel, out.
Listen up, look. The battery on this thing is gone, and I have to get another one, okay? But I'll be right back. I'll be right back, okay? I promise. I promise.
Come on, let's go.
Away you go.
Take this, mate. I'm sorry, I'm staying.
Me too.
Get on, Scotty. Go on.
I'll leave here when you do. No second before.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed.
Flaming crows.
Hey, I haven't given the all clear yet, Joe.
Yeah, well, charge me.
Yeah, go.
You okay?
Scotty! Are you okay?
Is everyone all right? Yeah. Yeah, we're okay in here.
Here, too.
Didn't come all the way down. I don't know why, but it didn't.
Maybe God heard to him.
You're still here? You look gassed, for God's sake. You're supposed to be in hospital. Sneaked out when no one was looking. She's still alive. Shh. Hey, Mark. Mark. I'd like you to meet a friend of mine. Glenn Summerhays. Mark. Glenn.
Hello, Glenn.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Bugger it. Excuse the French, love. Listen, Glenn, I need the turtle winch. Can you go up and get it? It's in the truck.
During the Granville operation, looters stole thousands of dollars worth of vital equipment from the Nepean Voluntary Rescue Squad. That stolen equipment was never recovered. We asked the we asked the railways to reimburse my squad for its losses, but they refused. And we weren't the only ones hit either, you know. Some ambulances had property stolen too. There were even reports that several onlookers crept into carriage 4 to rob the dead. Ratting is, I believe, the technical term for that, Your Worship. Because only rats would do that. I guess we saw the best and the worst of it that day. Rats and heroes, side by side.
Why'd this happen? Why'd they die?
I expect an inquiry will sort that out.
Sister, how are we gonna live with this?
I told you to hold that up. Ow!
Margaret?
Oh,
Shit. Shit.
What do you got for a headache? Oh.
I just got a delivery of morphine.
Listen, love, why don't you have a break? We'll take this over.
I'm not leaving, sister. I'm not afraid.
Hey, no one's saying you are. Look, there's a chemist up in the shopping centre. You nip up there and get us some Panadol.
Yeah.
He's right, you know. How the hell are we gonna live with this?
That's what I heard. At least 100.
They reckon it was the signals.
Nah, some kids put a rock on the rails. Can I help you?
I just want to get some Panadol or something.
Small box or large?
Oh, I don't know, probably get a large. We need it down the wreck.
Oh, yeah. Take as much as you want. Mavis!
Just for a headache.
Mavis, get all the Panadol we've got. They need it at the wreck. God bless you, officer.
It's okay, love. We've found you. Now just try and stay calm. We'll have someone with you in a minute, okay?
Supper and watch. Do you mind? Give us back my hand. Margaret. Sorry.
Could I have some more morphine? Scotty. Oh, just a little bit. Please.
Mate, if we give you any more painkillers, they might not be able to operate on you. Come on, just hang in there. A few minutes more. You're almost there. Okay, okay. All right. Ready?
Oh,
Everybody out! It's coming down! Us! It's all right. It's all right, Dick. It's us. We're winching out seats. If you're gonna bloody do that again, give us a bit of warning, okay?
I've got a kid her age.
Jerry.
Can you get a doll?
We don't have time for this.
Get a fucking doll! Clean its face. Clean its face. And clean his face and comb his hair.
I don't have a comb.
Here. I'll do it.
She's somebody's little girl, aren't you? We're going to do the right thing by her. Go, darling. You can sleep now.
You better come quick. We've got a problem with Margaret.
Well, don't look at me. No, I'm a married man.
Jerry,
Dick, my wife had killed me.
She asked for you, all right? We've explained it to her. Glenn's too small, my back's stuffed.
Stop here.
ask you a question then. I'm kind of glad you pinned in, because you'd probably give me a big slap. How big... are you large in the thoracic section?
What?
What size bra do you wear, Ma?
What's this then? Just trying to shift her. Both her arms are pinned and one of her shoulders broken, but if you can get a good hold on the breast, maybe you can drag her free. Otherwise, we're never going to get her out of there.
Yeah.
Here we go. Just got to move the shoe.
No, please.
Yep.
No, please.
There. Under. That's one. Other one. There. Now, there. That feels like something. Have I got him?
Yes. Oh, I can't believe you're doing this.
Yeah.
I don't even know your name.
Oh, jeez, it's Jerry, love. Jerry. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, no, please.
She's moving. Yeah, she's moving. Oh, thank Christ for that. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, it's really pathetic here at the moment. There are relatives starting to arrive from up the line and from down the line. Many of them are just completely hysterical. I saw one lady, tears streaming from her eyes, ran up to a badly injured person on a stretcher and just pulling his arm and saying, "What time did it leave? What time did it leave?"
I'd like to tell you once again that the blood transfusion service in Sydney has made an urgent appeal for donors of all types of blood. I repeat that, all types of blood.
Watch your back, silly one. Give us some space, will you? Give us some space, please. Will you give us some bloody space? Back off.
I'll go back to the hospital with her. Piss off.
Oh, you're doing brilliantly, darling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, please.
Okay.
Oh, that's close.
Sorry.
It's okay.
One more time now.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Go.
One more.
Yeah. Oh!
Sorry about the glass, darling. Sorry.
It's okay.
One more time now.
Oh!
It's okay.
Rosie. I thought we'd agreed.
Just let me go, Scotty. I want to go.
Come on. Wake up! When all this is over, you'll thank me for being an arsehole.
You won't want to know me when all this is over.
Oh, is that all right?
All I've done is complain. And I stink.
Oh, well, listen here, pal. Once I decide to be your mate, it takes more than that to get rid of me. You'll be stuck with me forever, like having herpes. Or a unit in the Gold Coast.
How you doing there, mate, all right? You're the last one left now. We're just about ready to lift this, so we'll have you out of there in a couple of minutes, okay? You might want to wait back there a bit.
I can't move. My back's gone. So, we're seeing this tonight together. Thanks. I want a bit more than that.
It's been a day without relief for rescue workers toiling under impossible conditions. A full team of Eyewitness News reporters have been at the scene, arriving only minutes after disaster struck. Their report follows, beginning with Jim Sterling, live from Granville.
Here at the crash site at the moment, it's the longest wait that I think I've ever seen in my life. So far, we've seen 13 bodies brought out from the wreck. It's understood there could be as many as 50 more pinned inside. We don't know, nobody knows. The full horror will be realised when they finally lift up those last sections of bridge. As we mentioned earlier, we've had Eyewitness News crews on the scene since right from when the disaster first happened. We were here within minutes. I was here myself only a couple of minutes after it actually happened. And here's their report now.
I want proper baked dinner. And then, and you know what, get pissed and and I'll sing you some decent Celtic songs. Here, squeeze it, Brian. Hard as you can.
Okay, this is it. Set. Okay, here we go. Okay, slot him out. Now, gently.
Oh, Jesus, Scotty!
Squeeze it!
Oh, Jesus, Scotty!
Squeeze the pin out! Hard as you can!
Scotty!
Gently, gently,
Scotty! Oh!
I'm here, man!
Scotty!
I'm here!
On three, guys. 3, 2, 1.
I promised I'd go iron.
I don't know where you could, Spot.
They're ready to start the jackhammers.
Okay, shut them up.
Listen up, everybody. I need some quiet. All machinery off. Could everybody cease their work? We need silence now. All machinery off. That's an order.
This is Ray Williams from the Police Rescue Squad. Now, if anyone can hear me, if there's anyone there, please make a sound now. This is Ray Williams from the Police Rescue Squad. Now, is anyone left? Please make a sound. This is Ray Williams from the Police Rescue Squad. If there's anyone there, please make a sound. Please.
Do you mind if we postpone tonight, made it for Saturday instead? No, I'm just not up for a movie, that's all. No, I had a double shift at work and, well, the usual. Sunburn, skateboard injuries, that sort of stuff. Yeah, well, I'm running a fair bit late, mate. No, I can't come as I am. No, I'll grab a bite later and people at work are having Italian. Jesus, it was terrible, Steve. No, the cricket. Yeah, no, you know, us losing in that. Yeah, well, we'll win next time, don't you worry. Yeah, you're on, $10. Yeah, someone told me. Granville, wasn't it? 80. Yeah, well, these things happen, hey? Steve, I gotta go. My bath's about to overflow. Yeah. Outside Hoyt's, Saturday. Okay, mate.
bet the bag's worn off by now.
No, you're fine. You're just fine. I love you so much.
My shoes got run. The floor shimes.
Doesn't matter. We'll get you some more as soon as you're out.
I'll only need one. That foot's gotta go. Hey, maybe the shoe stores will give me a discount.
How you doing?
You better go.
Mrs. Gordon? I'm Dr. White. I was with your husband at Granville. I made sure they brought him here so I could look after him myself. I can imagine how you must be feeling, but this bloke is a fighter. He's had a hell of a day, but he's come through it fine. We're very hopeful. Now, if there's anything you need, anything at all, you just ask. Don't you keep her up too late.
The electricity bill, I didn't pay it.
It doesn't matter. I can pay it tomorrow.
Don't forget, okay?
I'll do it first thing, I promise.
Where's Nat?
Shh, she's with Mum and Dad. I didn't bring her here, just in case, you know. When I told her you were sick, she wanted to send you a doll to play with.
I met a real nice chap. Called Scotty.
Just try and rest.
I want you to have him for dinner. He was very kind to me back there. Do one of your roasts. You'll have to carve now.
Don't be silly. That's your job.
Just keep the knife real sharp. You'll soon get the hang of it.
Look at me. Making a fool of myself. They'll throw me out if I'm not careful.
I love you. I only wish I'd have told you more often.
You didn't have to, darling. I knew. Don't leave me. Please.
Hey. It's not so bad. It's not so bad.
It's bad.
This is Australia's worst train crash, certainly since 1908, when 44 people died in one, and perhaps ever. The crash comes after stringent criticism of the state's railways.
Oh, John, relax. You're right across the road from the hospital. You've got your pager with you. What more can we do?
I just keep seeing them lying there. And if we got there sooner, maybe we could have done something, you know.
We did what we could, and that's it. Now, come on. Eat your spaghetti. Oh, I think I'm getting the hang of this. It's all in relaxing your wrist.
And the smell of the blood on my hands, I can't get rid of it.
Most survivors were taken to hospital. As the day wore on, body after body was pulled out of the wreck.
I met Brian Gordon's wife tonight. The guy was smiling. Can you imagine that? When you think about what he's been through.
Hey, listen to me. If you want to survive in this job, you don't think. You do what you can, you hope to God it helps, but when it's over, it's over. And today was just another day. Another day at the office. Now, for God's sake, pick up your fork and eat.
Doctors and nurses continued to operate under tons of twisted wreckage, refusing to stop for a moment, even when it was feared that the bridge
You're amazing. Doesn't anything bother you?
when a tiny space
Yeah,
was cleared along one
that.
wall of the tunnel, an emergency
Because in about a minute's time, they're going to be showing both of us. And frankly, I never let my work interfere with my dinner. Excuse me? Could you turn that thing off, please? It's putting us off our meal.
there was no other way of freeing.
Thank you.
In 5 minutes' time, the main slab will be lifted. Now, when we bring the bodies out, we're going to treat these people with dignity. As Christ knows they're entitled to it. Now, Bill and Gary tag the bodies, while Merv and I will take photographs for the coroner. When we're finished, the rest of you will move in, take the deceased to our temporary morgue up there. Now, I expect this to be done swiftly and calmly. The other workers will follow your example. So you must, no matter what, maintain your composure. Is that understood?
sat down. The bar looks 100 miles away.
Do you want a lemonade, Joe? It's my shout.
No. I'll get it, lamb chops. Age before beauty. Just give me a minute to get up. Oh, lamb chops. Oh.
Oh, Mark. Oh. Oh, careful, darling, careful. Come here. Oh, sweetheart. Oh, darling.
Bad luck, Michael. What? Didn't you hear? It's just on the news. That mate of yours died. One from Granville.
Layer.
Layer! That's a fucking dusty lay!
Take it easy. Hey, take it easy. Mike, settle down. Wasn't thinking. Take it easy. Okay?
Inadequate track and bogie maintenance was found by the inquiry that followed the crash to be the major cause of the Granville disaster. Today, an extra 1,000 men are working on railway track work, and a $200 million program is underway to upgrade the state's rail tracks over the next 5 years.
The metropolitan area certainly needs a considerable amount of work on points and leads, on drainage, and on sleeper replacement. And that's broadly the nature of the work that will be done within the $200 million program, which the government has just agreed to.
Is that $40 million a year, is that enough to improve the track?
Oh, yes. That will make a considerable difference to the general standard of the track and mean that it depends less upon the daily inspection and immediate correction practices, which are part and parcel of the maintenance practices of the system.
you sure?
Absolutely. I guessed it that night when we saw the locomotive, but since then, I've checked the photos and the measurements.
Guys, almost time.
Lots of trains were using that section of track, but they didn't derail. Why? Because their wheels were okay. They could go around that curve at fairly high speeds and not come off, but the Granville locomotive's 2 front wheels were worn. And I mean worn.
And that's why they didn't want us to see the locomotive, in case we saw the wheels.
Yes.
No, it doesn't make sense. The railways have already accepted full responsibility for what happened at Granville, so what difference does it make if the crash was caused by the track or the wheels?
About $50 million. The National Times. I don't know, I put these things in a file on your desk and you never bother to read them. The state government has to borrow $200 million just to repair the tracks.
I know that.
Well, don't you see? The money's already been allocated. They've already worked out how and when they're going to spend it. Well, if you guys come along and say the trains need fixing too, it's going to cost them millions of dollars more, and that's money they don't have. Which is why they're insisting that the trains are all okay, even though there's still 3 derailments every fortnight. There's not enough money in the Treasury to fix them.
She's right, you know. If you try and blame the train, well, they'll fight you. They'll fight you tooth and nail.
I was almost asleep when the whole thing hit me. In 8 hours' time, I'll be telling the court that the first inquiry got it wrong. That Judge Staunton and 24 top engineers should have found that the locomotive was the major cause of the crash. I can't say that. I can't contradict all those experts.
You can if it's the truth.
If I prove that the locomotive was at fault, then the railways will have to fix all the other Class 46 engines. It'll cost them millions. And they won't allow that. They don't have the dough. So they'll go after me instead. They'll have a whole team of lawyers and engineering bigwigs. And they'll all be in court, waiting. Tomorrow.
Mr. Osmond, you're a qualified mechanical electrical engineer, is that right?
Yes.
Have you ever been employed in any railway system? Anywhere?
No.
Have you ever written any papers in connection with any railway system anywhere?
No.
Have you ever done any research on Class 46 locomotives, like the one at Granville?
No.
But as an expert witness, you would have this court believe that the engine, locomotive 4620, played a crucial part in causing the derailment.
Yes.
And you've based this on your examination of the locomotive and the track at Chilora.
Yes.
How many times did you actually examine them?
Twice.
Twice.
bloody let us in.
Dozens of trains were passing over that every hour. If the track alone were faulty, they would have had trouble too. But they didn't. It was a combination of worn tracks and worn wheels that caused the derailment.
That is very interesting, Mr. Osmond, that you could reach such incredible conclusions based on 2 examinations. Oh, by the way, are you familiar with the standards of rail and wheel wear used in the United Kingdom?
No.
In America?
No.
In Canada?
No.
Well, international railway standards say that for a wheel to come off a railway track, the wheel must be worn to 26 degrees. Yet, according to you, the wheels on the Granville train were only worn to 22. Is that right?
Yes.
The same international standards say a train is only at risk of derailing if the rail is worn to 16 degrees. But the rails at Granville were worn to, let's see, 12 degrees.
But the speed of the engine must be looked at as well, and the size. Now, if a locomotive that big is travelling fast, especially around a curve...
Other trains were going around that curve just as fast day and night, but were they derailing, Mr. Osmond? The wheels and the track at Granville were within the acceptable limits of safety.
Avril, where are the matches?
I won't let you do
Come
this.
on, Avril, where are they, please?
How long has it
One
been, Boris?
lousy smoke.
Nearly 2 years?
1 year, 8 months, 5 days. Where are
You're
they?
going to throw that all away. You're going to throw it all away just because of one little setback.
Setback? Avril, they're going to win. Don't you see? Nothing will change. I'll never fix their engines. The wheels weren't
Give them
worn
to me.
enough to derail the train. Can you believe that? British railway standards. No one has ever explained why Granville happened. Not properly. When I
Boris,
looked at that
please.
locomotive, every
Boris.
instinct I have told me I was right.
And you are. I mean it, B.O. Who gives a hoot about international standards? How can they tell in bloody Europe whether or not a train's going to come off the rail at Granville? They're 12,000 miles away. There are people here depending on you to find out why their loved ones died. If you give up now, they'll never know. That'll be almost as cruel as the train wreck. You can't let them down just for one little setback. Boris, trust your own instincts. Have you ever been wrong in the past?
Hey! Remember me? Boris Osmond from the Coroners. We spoke last month. About the speed on the curve. You told me the limit there was 80. They even had a sign with it?
Did I? Well, I got it wrong.
Is that what I tell the families then? All the people who were killed and injured? But you couldn't look me in the eye and tell me why it happened.
Poor buggers who died were in non-smoking carriages. But if they'd smoked...
Given up. Look, the speed limit on all other curves in this state is 70. There must have been a reason for increasing it here.
I guess it could be one. It's just a guess, I might be wrong, but after the train left Parramatta Station, it became an express train into the city. So it passed through here and went right on. Now, on the day of the crash, when it left Parramatta, it was running nearly 3 minutes late.
Well, 3 minutes is nothing. It's probably
For
standard.
a lot of trains, yeah, but, well, if this particular train was late, even by a couple of minutes, it'd get behind slower trains further up line and never be able to pass them. Like driving behind a heavy truck, you don't get a chance to overtake. those couple of minutes often meant the train reached town up to half an hour late.
But if it sped all the way from the last place
Parramatta Station.
Yeah, it could make up the time it lost.
Yeah.
Which is why they increased the speed limit here? To give it a bit of a nudge?
Yeah.
The trains run late all over Sydney, and they don't make them do 80 around curves. Why would they make an exception with this one? What was so special about this train that they would risk people's lives to make sure it got to town on time?
Thank you.
Can I help you?
Oh, yes. I'd like to get my shoe back, please. Well, normally I wouldn't bother, but they're quite an expensive pair, and
When were they stolen?
No, not stolen, no. I lost one of them in the wreck at Granville. I think a policeman might still have it. You see, it came off when he dragged me out.
Name, please.
Shuttler? Margaret Shuttler, Mrs. They're, an eggshell blue, size 6. Oh. I like this.
Can I see your train ticket, Mrs. Shuttler?
My ticket, no. No, I don't
So
have
I
a
take it
ticket.
you're in carriage 4.
Carriage 3. Just for a couple of hours, and then this policeman called Jerry dragged me out, but I didn't catch his last name, and he didn't ask for mine, and no one took any details of mine, so if he does have the shoe, he won't know where to send it.
And all of this has nothing to do with lodging a claim for compensation. That train only carried 500 people. So far, over 1,000 reckon they were on it. At least the others had a sense to wear a few band-aids to try and look the part.
Look, here. Look, this is what she was wearing. See? She left it behind, so I kept it. You know, in case she wanted it back.
What was the name? Cinderella.
It was Margaret, sir. I told you 10 times.
And the only Margaret on our list was dead by noon.
Well, then your list is wrong. She was taken to Lidcombe Hospital.
Okay,
One
well,
of the ambos told me.
Take it up with the hospital.
Well, they don't seem to have any record, sir. They say they didn't treat any of the Granville victims. Sir, I'm not crazy. I talked to her for hours. I just want to make sure that she's all right.
Okay. What'd she look like?
She had red hair.
Age?
20s.
And did she tell you anything about herself?
Well, Not much, actually, now I come to think of it.
Come on, she must have said something. Anything at all.
Well, she said she had a 36-inch bust. But it felt, you know, to me, more like 38.
He left it on the table. So I raced out after him. I chased him right up the street and around the next corner. I said, "Hey, you silly bugger. You forgot your weekly ticket." Then I handed it to him. Sentence of death. If I hadn't have done that, he would have missed that train.
Some nights I let Brian have it. I lie in the dark and I tell him off. I wouldn't have died and left him alone. I'd have fought. I'd have fought and fought and clung to life. Then I drift off to sleep and dream we're making love.
How's Natalie coping?
Fine. Never better. She sleeps. She plays. She laughs at cartoons. And I can't stand her being near me. Why should Brian be gone and she be happy and me left to carry it all?
I could almost cope if it wasn't for those cars.
The white ones?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What cars?
I kept seeing this white Holden parked outside my house with the same man sitting in it. So I went outside and I asked him what he was doing there.
Me too. The railways have hired these private detectives to watch all the Granville widows.
But why would they be watching you lot?
Compensation payouts. Didn't you know? They're making them as tough to get as possible. If it looks like one of us has a lover, her payout gets reduced. So they're photographing every male who sets foot in our houses. I can't even have the parish priest around to talk to me now.
What the hell is this about? Bridge fell on a train, sir.
Well, it's probably just a coincidence, but there's a man in this photo who looks vaguely like you. Now, I know it couldn't be you because you were at home on sick leave. At least that's what you told the fire.
Yeah, well, I can't explain that, sir.
Explain it to them, not me. This just arrived from HQ. Seems they're going to carpet you.
For going to Granville?
You were on leave. You didn't have permission.
There wasn't time to ask, sir. They needed all the blokes they could get down there.
At least half a dozen fire crews down there.
Yeah. And they ordered them to leave the wreck rather than pay them overtime.
Is that a line, Jerry?
What the hell was I supposed to do? Sit around and watch people die?
I'd have done the same as you, but I'm not head office. I'm telling you, one of the best I've got. So lose your job, mate. Maybe you hadn't been in that paper.
Well, I'll be in a bloody side more the next few days because I'll ring every paper from here to Darwin. And all the TV stations too. Oh, you wait till I tell them that the fire brigade is trying to sack me for going to Granville.
Excuse me. I was looking for Jerry Buck.
He might be a while, love. Is there anything I can do?
You sent them some sort of a statement.
Yeah, I'll send them some sort of statement, all right? 3 short words.
Do you and Jerry know each other?
Yes, well, I doubt that he'd remember my face. It was dark at the time and I was lying down. But I left my shoe behind, you see, and I thought that Jerry might still have it.
Sit on my ass. Oh, bloody
Maybe I've come at an awkward time. Could you just tell Jerry that Margaret came by, you know, to pick up my shoe?
Why don't you tell them up at head office they can all get stuff for Christmas? Bastards! They're trying to get me sacked for going to Granville. Can you believe that?
Yeah, that's it. That's the shoe she was talking about.
I'm gonna fight this tooth and nail. You watch.
Mate, if you hurry, you can still catch her.
What?
That friend of yours, she was here just now looking for a shoe.
Here?
Yeah, said her name was Margaret.
Struth, did she have a nice voice?
And the rest.
Shit, shit. Hey! Hey! Wait up! Wait up! You must be Margaret?
Jerry.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
I've been trying to find you. But you're okay and everything's...
I'm fine. Oh, just a bit of shoulder trouble, but... Oh, hey. I'm here, aren't I?
Oh, it's a lovely shoe. I cleaned it up a little bit for you in case you wanted it back, which you do, so...
You know, I really thought I was going to die. And what you did for me down there, you and the others, it was,
Nah, I mean, that's our job, isn't it?
Right.
It's just our job.
Well, I guess I'll be going.
All right, well, nice to meet you, Margaret.
Yes, you too.
And good luck.
Oh, God bless you, Jerry.
Oh. It's Bushman love. It's Bushman.
And the final point of my case is this. I don't intend any criticism of Mr. Osmond, but on his own admission, he has no practical experience in railways. He's done no research or experimentation on this matter at all. He's basing his theories on general science and fairly simple geometry. And so I would ask your worship to disregard Mr. Osmond's statements about the locomotive wheels and his belief that they helped cause the accident. And I would remind your worship that no expert, no other expert witness has advanced this view, and therefore I see no reason why.
Well, what?
Come on, Greta, you can read him like a book. Is he going to accept what Boris said in evidence, or is he scared to take on Farquhar?
See that move? Washing up roster. Your name. Dishcloth.
I was only asking.
Here. Hope he throws it out. Every word that Boris said. Don't look at me like that. I've been around here longer than you. If Mr. Weir blames the train, he's finished, Merv. And that means I get another boss, and it took me years to break him in. I hope he says the train wasn't to blame. I hope he's damn well smart enough to...
Firstly, I would like to say that no blame at all can be directed at the driver of the locomotive, who was simply a victim of the roster for that day. I have considered the railway's submissions concerning Mr. Osmond's theories and have studied the evidence closely. However, after weighing the matters up, I do believe that Mr. Osmond is correct when he says that wear on the leading wheels of the locomotive contributed to the accident. I have found that the accident was caused by the following: wear on the leading wheels, poor condition of the permanent way, poor track geometry, poor track maintenance.
Mr. Weir's findings vary from the others on one important detail. Whereas the Judicial Inquiry and the Railway Board of Inquiry blamed only the poor condition of the track for the derailment, Mr. Weir found that the condition of the locomotive's wheels was also a factor. When the results of Mr. Justice Staunton's inquiry were made public in May, the government announced a $200 million program to upgrade track maintenance, but that did not include locomotives. The inquiry's findings are sure to be of concern to the state government. The Public Transport Commission asked that evidence concerning wear on the wheels be discounted, but Mr. Weir rejected the submission, saying he was satisfied the worn wheels were a contributing factor.
He won't get away with this.
I think he already has, Murray. Even you can't stop a runaway train.
Listen to this. A detective from the fraud squad interviewed one of the victims in the hospital. He said to the detective, I am employed at the Sydney Turf Club. My briefcase contained a considerable amount of money which belonged to the Australian Labor Party and which I was to bank. He didn't ask him how much money. He didn't ask why someone employed at the Turf Club should be banking for the Labor Party. Strange.
Everything about that train was strange.
I just thought that I'd thank you for all your work.
It was an honor to work with you, sir.
I certainly learned a lot about geometry. Yeah, I'll try and keep the three of you out of it if there are any repercussions.
They wouldn't sack you, sir. They wouldn't dare.
According to my sources, they've already started. And the secretary's grapevine is never wrong. But we didn't walk away. No matter what else they say about us, we did not walk away.
Sir?
You're not supposed to smoke in here. Oh, Sister Warby. I'm sorry. What are you doing here?
It didn't look like that, you know. Wasn't so neat and organised.
The newspaper said that you've won an award for bravery from the Queen. Congratulations.
Have you ever seen someone in pain? They get this look. They sort of look you in the eye, so you can almost feel what they're going through. You never forget that look. I was all they had. You don't understand. I was sent in there to help them and I failed.
Failed? You saved over a dozen lives.
Was it enough? I should have done more. I should have saved them all.
Sure. Do you want to come and get the pizzas? I'll do that tomorrow.
It'll only take a minute. Boris.
What? I'm enjoying myself. The first time that we went out together, I knew we'd get married.
Sure.
I did. I can still remember the first time I saw you. I came in for that interview, and you were on the front desk, typing away. I looked at your fingers for a while, so as I could figure out what size engagement ring to get you.
And you did all that before I'd even said a word to you.
I'm an engineer. A perfect design when I see one. Come upstairs. This'll keep.
Okay. The new files are over there.
Lovely. Very nice.
That one's comparative gauges.
Mm-hmm.
That one's the Glenbrook accident.
We've already got a file on Glenbrook. Signal failure, man got killed. No work done, I remember.
No, different accident, Bjorn. This one happened afterwards.
No, there weren't two accidents at Glenbrook. If there was, I would have known about it. See?
Yeah, that crash took place on 16 January. This one happened a month later, February 15th, 1976. Well, it's no big deal. Well, no one got killed. Some group called the Save Our Rails Committee sent it to the coroner. They were complaining about the state of the trains. It's funny, though. It was a class 46 in that second Glenbrook accident. Wasn't that like the engine used at Granville?
Amazing, isn't it? The way life goes on. We cleaned all up as if nothing ever happened.
Boris, I can't stay long. I've got to pick up my kid from karate.
I asked you to get me a list of derailments. Every train. So why did you leave one out?
Well, look, the inquiry's over. Leave it alone.
11 months before Granville, another train came off the tracks at Glenbrook in the Blue Mountains. You knew about it, didn't you?
Oh, Boris, don't.
It was a class 46, just like the one at Granville. Did it derail on a curve as well? Yeah, just like that one there?
Look, if I'd told you, they would have known. They would have traced that back to me.
Did it?
Look, it was a minor accident. It didn't even make the papers. Look, the class 46 engine was often coming off the rails 34 times in the last 10 years. But this one was different.
Why? Why was it different?
When the railways held an inquiry, the inquiry found that the class 46 engine wasn't safe. When you consider the other factors, the tracks that it ran on, the speed it was travelling, they found that on curves it was potentially dangerous and had a tendency to derail. The engine was heavier. It was causing the tracks to spread, to widen, especially when the engine went round a curve. Do you understand? The engine was pushing the tracks apart, and that's why the wheels came off, and that's why it derailed.
And they knew all this 11 months before Granville? No. The speed on that curve was 80 k's. That's faster than most curves in this state. If they knew that engine could derail at high speeds, they would have done something about it. Changed the sign, told the driver, reduce the speed. Anything, for God's sake. They had 11 months. No. You have to be wrong.
Boris, you haven't seen the file. That class of engine came off the track so many times that even the railways got concerned. And after Glenbrook, they decided to act. They ordered that all the tracks be reinforced wherever that class of engine was running, especially on the curves. And they put gangs of men to work from Lithgow to Penrith as a matter of urgency.
What did they do on that curve up there? What did they do to make it safer? The railways would want to look after Granville. It was their main line, for God's sake.
If they reduced the speed on that curve, what do you think would have happened?
The accident wouldn't have happened.
And what else?
The train from the mountains might have got to town a bit late.
You don't know, do you? I mean, you're supposed to be the expert on how things are done, but you got no bloody idea. The train from the mountain can never be late. That's almost an unwritten law.
Why was that train so important?
It's not the train, it's where it comes from. It's the Blue Mountains. The mountains has the deciding seats in every state election. And what's important to the people up there is getting to work on time. If the train's late, they take it out on the government. Don't you see? You've got to keep the voters happy.
Even if it kills them.
Look, it's over, mate. In the end, it was an accident.
That's why they didn't touch the track. Kept the speed so high. Because the mountains train had to get there on time.
Hey, everyone knew it.
Everyone. What about the passengers?
You won't let on I told you, will you? I mean, if they found out, I'd lose my job. I'd probably lose my super as well, Boris. Boris!
me the other one.
What are those?
That'll help you get around. You've lost a lot of muscle tissue in your legs. You're going to need something.
Oh, that's all right. A few weeks of dancing will build them up again.
Once you lose muscle tissue, it doesn't grow back again. It's not like a hairdo or fingernails.
But I'll be all right. I'm in hospital. You'll fix me. How soon till I can dance again?
Oh, you can forget about dancing. Send her back to school. Learn computers, something.
No, you don't understand. Look, see, I can wriggle my toes. Look, for God's sake.
I'll call back again tomorrow.
I'll walk again. I will. I'll dance too. I'll show you. I'll show you. Say.
Come on, Debbie. You can do it. Make yourself do it.
Goodbye, Brian. I'll miss you.
This is for you, Daddy. Thank you.
you.